downtown Charlotte. Just a few moments ago, this building was shaking as the Carolina Panthers emerged from the tunnel here in Charlotte. They are ready to go as the Panthers are set to match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. They come in off a loss in the season opener, which doubled as the home opener.
And when you lose that way, at home, season opener, it almost feels like 2 losses. So it's a big fight to get yourselves ready to go to play the next week.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Cam Newton ready to lead this Carolina Panthers offense. And Week 1 after the game, Charles, he admitted, hey, I was a little rusty, but remember, he only played 3 series in the preseason.
Yeah, 25 of 38, 239, an interception by Aqib Talib against him. Ran the ball only 3 times for -2 yards. Didn't look like the normal Cam Newton. I think he'll round into form, but they will have to think about sending some deeper routes against opponents coming up because they've got to loosen up the line of scrimmage to get the run game going and give Cam a little bit more space.
And right away, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Matt Gay on for the extra point. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Matt Gay on for the extra point. And that one gives the Bucs a 7-0 lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Panthers trot back onto the field here, and they do so at 0-1 after that loss to the Rams. Now, look, the Panthers were at home. You knew it would be tough, though. They're playing the Rams, defending conference champions. Now you look ahead to week 2, Charles, and they're going to play Tampa Bay. So that's an early division matchup that could have a lot of importance later in the season.
No doubt about it, because it was just a couple of seasons ago that 3 teams qualified for the playoffs out of the NFC South, the Panthers being one of them. They have to have this game in a big way early after dropping a winnable game against the Rams in week 1.
And it's a short week. Remember that. That game on Thursday this week. Speaking of McCaffrey, boy, he was used a lot in week 1, Charles. 128 yards on the ground. He also had 10 catches for 81 more yards.
That's 209 all-purpose yards. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's one of 5 players with 10 or more receptions, 120 more rushing yards in a single game in the Super Bowl era. And this is what we saw last year as well, partner. They used him in a big way. He hardly ever came off the field. I hope they're developing an alternative for him so he can get a few plays off this season. Otherwise, they'll use him up way too quickly.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
The throw left side, complete to Hogan. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They've been pretty solid against the pass, toward the middle of the pack, number 14 in the NFL.
And, hey, they were stingy in the opener. Didn't allow much of anything at all through the air. So now they come into week 2 saying, hey, let's see if we can do even better. Let's go ahead and get to that number 1 spot.
And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. A shotgun snap for Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Jameis Winston leading out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and week 1 did not go as Tampa Bay or Jameis had envisioned. That loss to San Francisco, Charles. Jameis Winston, he threw 3 interceptions.
And what does brand new Tampa coach Bruce Arians like to say about his quarterbacks when they're throwing the ball?
Something about a biscuit?
Yeah, no risk it, no biscuit, right?
No risk it, no biscuit.
But with Jameis Winston, they're trying to get him to eliminate the risk and just get the biscuit. In this game, that didn't happen. 2 pick sixes thrown in the opener. Although, to be fair, 2 touchdown passes to tight end Cameron Brate were called back due to penalty.
That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's when they get out on that play.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. And a peek now at the offense for Tampa Bay.
Peyton Barber had his best year running the football in 2018, and he was 9th in the league last year in rushing attempts. The only issue, yards per carry. Total yards under 900. New head coach Bruce Arians, he believes he can improve his efficiency.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up fourth. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Winston's pass, incomplete, intended for Chris Godwin.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Throwing is Newton. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Ndamukong Suh able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. They find some open field here. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down. So from second and long, now we go to third and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in four-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Newton to Olsen there for a Carolina first down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
A check on the numbers by Moore last week. 7 catches, 76 yards.
And I'd certainly expect them to use him quite a bit because he runs excellent routes, has good hands, and knows how to get open.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 7 yards there and a first down. A pair of first downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Newton to throw. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. William Golston in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Vita Vea providing a little deja vu. Back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Michael Pilardi now. as he'll kick it away for the second time. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So,
oh, it floated on him, and it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals, and if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
Being chased out, and he will score! Touchdown, Panthers! Cam Newton, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are now on the board here in the first half. And we've mentioned before, Cam, the all-time leader in rushing TDs by a quarterback, so everyone he gets from here on out for the rest of his career just adding to that lead. So
what you're saying is that if you're a young kid who wants to play quarterback in the NFL, and that's the record you're shooting for,
good luck.
You got some work to do, aren't you?
By the time he's done, he might have double a second-place guy. Extra point right down the middle, and we are tied at 7. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the final piece to the puzzle was the Cam Newton touchdown run. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Jameis Winston and the rest of the Bucs set to begin this next drive. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now. So you're not protecting a lead. So you're not playing that way. You got to go get the lead again. So maybe it loosens him up a little bit and allows him to go ahead and be a little more free in his play.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
And he's going to get this deep on a Carolina side of the field. A big play that time for Tampa Bay. 41 yards on the ground. And you talk about great blocking up front. I don't think he was even touched, not a finger on him, until he was brought down to the ground.
I think we heard the whoosh as he went by, didn't we? Right through the gap. No one there, as you outlined. No one touched him at all. A free sprint into the secondary.
Yeah, that's what you call breaking free right there. First down, they go with Barber again. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Here's Barber. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards, a good run there. Now 2nd and goal. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. One more time with Barber. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Peyton Barber, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bucs have taken the lead. And he was excellent on that drive. He deserved to be the one to get across the chalk.
Oh, I agree with you totally. A workhorse on the drive, and how about that last decisive run to punch it in?
Here's Gay now to add the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. That time a 6-play drive. And it's Peyton Barber that polishes it all off with a touchdown scamper. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Time for our players spotlight, and it focuses in here on Cam Newton. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's more. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Newton. Throw left side, McCaffrey's got it. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Newton throwing again. And his throw here's incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, but now it's 3rd down.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance, too.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's back for his 13th NFL season. The last 9 have been in a Panthers uniform. Only 9 games for him a year ago, 7 the season before due to injuries. But when healthy, a 1,000-yard receiver in 2014, 15, and 16.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Carolina. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a moment, but first, The NFL season is in full swing. Let's show the good folks what we've got in store for us later this weekend here in Week 2. Plenty to look forward to in that early window, one being a noontime start up in Green Bay. A big one for the Packers, as they'll get set to tangle with the Minnesota Vikings. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well, one being out in Los Angeles, where it'll be the Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints. And finally, on Monday Night Football, Mayfield versus Darnold, round 2, the Browns and Jets from MetLife Stadium. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This is taken at the 3. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. So here are the Bucs to take over on offense. Last week they got the victory against the San Francisco 49ers. They've got the lead in this one as well right now. Winston now. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just second down. Well, Charles, as we peek back to Week 1, what would you say were the positives for some teams or individuals that you took away?
Well, it started on opening night. Green Bay and their defense. Not necessarily Aaron Rodgers and what they did going into Chicago and winning. Kansas City, they picked right up where they left off with Patrick Mahomes. Explosive on offense. How about Baltimore and Lamar Jackson? He's not just a single wing tailback, folks. He's a quarterback. And Tennessee, going into Cleveland, Marcus Mariota, Derrick Henry put up 43 points on the Browns.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. Eric Reed, the former LSU Tiger, making the play on the defensive side.
Started to look like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They're indeed going. It's Winston. That is caught. It's Perriman. 21 yards there. A big play on 4th down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Barber on 1st and 10. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
A carry for Barber. The former LSU Tiger Dante Jackson on the stop.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready, black 25, 59. Coming this way, here we go.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great effort there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Extra point by Gay is up and good, and it's now 21-7. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Time for our players spotlight, and it focuses in here on Cam Newton. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again. Newton. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Ndamukong Suh bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Newton. He's got him in, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting. And even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They will find his man. That's Hogan, complete. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 36.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
Used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Carl Nassib there on the tackle.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. From the gun, Newton, and that is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Well, they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
They're enjoying a 4th quarter advantage. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Meanwhile, here, a run on 1st down really backfires as he's going to be brought down well behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
On 2nd down now. It's Jones. Open space inside the 10th. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Ronald Jones, his first touchdown of the new season as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead.
That was simply terrific vision by the runner. He was able to use his eyes and follow his blocks and carry himself to the end zone.
Gay is on for the point after. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's Ronald Jones that polishes it off with a touchdown run. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 15. Here's Newton. Rolling to, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Carl Nassib in there to get him. That is the 6th time that they have sacked him tonight.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
And with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. And the box with an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. Operating from the gun, Newton. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And that will come the offense as they take over. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense can crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. On third down, Winston. And he's got a man. It's the tight end, Howard, complete. And they'll get this down to the 10. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, Barber. And he goes backwards on this one. Losing yardage to the 7. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Ready. Black 25. 54. Check back, check back.
From the gun, Winston. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Ross Cockrell. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. After the sack on first down, Newton, that's Samuel, caught left side. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play. Here's Newton. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Jordan Whitehead. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. So fire the cannons. It's a victory here for Tampa Bay. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Buccaneers, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside